Welcome, my name is Tishar and this is StarMade. The last time we left off, we started on a new project, this ship to be precise, and we used a small scale model and scaled it up to 11 times its size and got this up to now. We still have a bit to go to get the hull completely sealed in, because this part is still not done. But that shouldn't be too hard. So the plan is to this episode to get most of the work done on the outer hull, at least get it completely sealed, and then start adding more and more details. So let's get to that. I started to do a bit more detailing for the engines as well. I added these pipes here on the side and created some intakes for the larger pipes that I want to build on the sides here. That's basically the normal pipes in the small scale model. Also started to see how I could connect the wing correctly to the main body, because I was struggling a bit with how to exactly connect this and then have the pipe go from here into the wingy bit. That's the plan, at least. And of course I did a bunch of hull on the underside here for this section of the main hull, so that's almost done. As soon as I've got the wingy bit done, then this hull is probably sealed airtight, at least for now. And one additional thing I started thinking about is main weapons for this ship. I was thinking of adding some sort of weapon in this wingy bit to shoot from the ship itself. I'm not sure if it's going to fit or not, but I'm going to try it. And speaking of weapons, I also need space for turrets on the ship, so that's what I did next. Because there's not a whole lot of space I want to put turrets on the ship, but I thought this was a nice spot, this sticky out bit, so sacrifice the detail I had in there before and then put a turret on top of it. And I did also 2 spots for the wingy bit, so one top and one bottom. So this is now closed off as well, including the main hull over there, except for a little bit at the back here where I need to add the piping. These turrets I didn't design for this ship. I did that for my previous build, so I just grabbed those and put them on here. They fit relatively well, but I think I will test out some other designs as well later on. But this is about the size I want to have them. Because these are turrets to just deal with the smaller ships that might attack this vessel, the more or less class 1 ships as we call them, and they're not really meant for capital ship engagements. That's what we probably going to design this main turret at the front for. That's going to help bring down the shields of a larger target, and then have some sort of main weapon system in the ship itself to fight with as well. So yeah, the turrets are just small defense in this case. And speaking of these wingy bits, I was thinking, okay, what kind of purpose do these wingy bits serve for this ship? Of course, it's a spot to put my turrets on. But the interior of this wingy bit, what can we use it for? Well, you might have guessed, because you see the rails here, I put a hanger in it. A really small hanger. This is just big enough to fit my worker bees. So we get 3 in a row here and then 3 on the other side of the ship. So we've got 6 worker bees docked to the ship once it's done. And we can use this for salvage or repair or whatever other purpose you can use the worker bee for. And it serves to fill out this interior of this part of the ship nicely. I'm probably going to connect it to the main body of the ship to the back of the wing here, so on this side of the ship, and then use the front here on this side to fill with weapons for whatever main weapon I'm going to give this ship, I think. And I measured it out. This is not the normal deck height, because normal deck height would be 5, and this is, I believe, 7. Yeah, 7. But the deck I'm using, it's the middle deck here. It's exactly centered to the height of this this hanger, so that would work out, I think. I also used water for a force field effect over here. That's why I used the rails here as well to get the ships inside, because you need something to guide them and guide them in. It's not really a big gap to fit in ships, so the worker bee is small but not that small. So that's my my contribution to this part of the ship already. And we also need to think about the underside of the ship, because we're going to add a main hangar access here at the bottom of the ship. That's why it's still open. Yeah, I'm not sure how big exactly it's going to be, because I want it to have a big enough size to handle the class 1 shuttles that are in the game already and that are going to be in the game. At least I'm hoping that Saber is going to announce the contract soon. So hint, hint. But we'll see if that works out or not. In addition to the regular turrets, we need some AMS as well. So I designed these small ball turrets. They have cannon on cannon, 20 blocks in total. And I'm hoping that it is enough to deal with some missiles. Although with the shields they have nowadays, it's a bit harder to deal with missiles than it was before, because then you could just get away with one-on-one block on cannon. That was enough. So I dotted them around the ship. So on top, a couple of on top here and to the side. And I placed a couple on the wingy bits like this, and at the bottom as well. And as you can see, I did some additional detailing for the wingy bit as well. Some additional plating, some dark gray hull, and I changed the shape in the back a bit to make it a bit more match with the turret that is placed there. And then place these white, yeah, not sure what they are, mechanical things attached to it, so to give it some more detail. So this middle part of the ship already shows the type of detail I want to add to the rest of the hull. At least that's the plan. And it will give a very constructed plated look, I think. At least that's the plan. The next part I concentrated on was the bottom docking bay. This is about the size I was going for. At least it's big enough to fit a shuttle in. And I placed an additional turret here at the bottom, so it can guard the access to the docking bay. I also used water and ice crystals to get this force field effect here. And I'm probably going to have to replace the water with a docked version of this water plane, because I need some rails in the middle here to guide the ships inside the docking area. And you can't have 2 blocks in one place unless you use a docked entity. I also created these doors to close off the docking area in a physical way, of course. And I've got some logic over here to open them up. I'll need the interface for that for a second. There you go. And now the doors are opening. We're 2 blocks thick. We've got some warning lights in the middle to indicate where it opens. So now we've got this big hole into the floor where our ships will come in and rise into the hangar and then move towards a sparking spot here somewhere, I think, or perhaps back there. Should be enough space to get a couple of ships in, I think. Logic, yeah, one of my favorite things to do in StarMade. You can do a lot of fun things with it. But this is just a temporary setup, and this will pull in this ship over here and dock it in the main hangar bay. At least that's our test we're going to do and see if it works. So we've got our smaller ship that's exactly the same as our bigger ship inside each other. So like I said, I replaced the water here with the docked version. So now we have the rails that can basically go through the force field, then through the door, and then in here, and then dock here. And if I measured everything correctly, I should be able to add 4 of these shuttle ships over here, and then have some smaller spaces on the sides here for some smaller type ships. Not sure what type yet, but we'll design something for that. So let's test it out. I have to press this button over here, and there it goes. It goes up and through the force field, so that's a nice thing as well. The ships can pass through as well. The doors open, yeah, nice and steady. It comes up into the hangar space, and then it moves all the way to the back of the hangar. But we need to rotate it, and I did it over there. As you can see here, there was a rotating block real quick below the ship to rotate it at 90 degrees. So it can land nice and easy over there. Almost there. Just move to the side. There we go. And because this ship has its boarding ramp at the front, if you walk here in the middle and you have these types of ships, you can just walk to it, press the button, go in, and then activate the undock breather, and then exit the ship. That's the plan, at least. If you press it again, then it will just do that in reverse. Yeah, so that works. The only problem with this setup, because I already tested it with a couple of other ships as well, that the regular shuttle doesn't have its docking block in the middle of the shuttle. So when it's trying to dock, it will hit the side of the entrance of our docking bay with the engines. So this is the regular Trade Guild shuttle that is already in the game. And as you can see here, this docking block is not in the middle. I can only blame Saber for this. I can blame Chris, but he's no longer working for Shine, so officially you're to blame, Saber. Just so you know. Yeah, he enlarged the docking area a bit. It was a bit of pain because this turret was a bit in the way, but it just barely fits. And I had to move everything this way and that way. I had to enlarge the doors as well, but the rest of the setup is basically the same. So that should work out in having them dock correctly. I had to remove most of the logic as well. I didn't even implement the door. But this just barely fits. As you can see here, there's plenty of space at the front and barely any space at the back. Why? Why not in the middle of the ship? I don't understand it. But oh well, it fits in the ship now, and it gives us a bit more leeway in the design of new shuttles. And it fits in the parking spot as well. So we can live with it, but it's not my favorite thing. Yeah. Logic is fun and all, but we do want to work some more on the outer hull as well. And in this part I started adding additional plating to give it a bit more of a constructed look. And I do like clean plating, but if you add additional plating on top in a specific way, then you can add a bit more variation and details within the clean lines you already have. and I think it worked out really well for this part. I think I'll continue this technique with the rest of the hull as well and see how it works out. This is not the giant turret at the front I'm going for. I did just do a bit of experiments to see if it fits, or at least what could fit and how long it should be, but yeah, I'm not happy with what I've got now. I think I'll just rip it out and then start over again. Perhaps just designing it not attached to the ship, just away from it. Give me a bit more space to work with. And then attach it and see how it turns out, because this is not working for me. After a lot more work with the hull, I added a lot more additional plating to the main hull to add more detail, and you can see it adds a lot to the ship. I'm not completely done yet, but you can see the difference between this front end and this back end already. It's a lot more detailed, a lot more mechanical, and a lot more interesting to look at, in my opinion. I'm not completely happy with some parts of the additional plating I did, but I'll keep working on that, redoing some parts and leaving other parts the same. But that's just the whole design process you go through. You just try something, see if it works, and then if it's not working, you rip it out, then try again, etc., etc. It's trial and error. But the main part that does work out for me is when I add the additional plating. For example, here's a good example. I tend to create a wraparound effect like this, that you get a negative spade of the main hull. So you try to break the lines that you already have in the ship. For example, this angled slab over here is broken by this additional plating. Keeps things more interesting and doesn't make it look as simple put together as it was before with the big blocks. I'm almost completely done with the front end of the ship as far as detailing goes for the plating. I'll still add details here and there as I think of it, but yeah, this is kind of the look I'm going for. Did the bottom here as well, and then all the way to the entrance of the main hangar bay. So yeah, this works out very, very well for me. This is the technique I'm going to continue with the rest of the ship, and once that is done, I think I can concentrate a bit more on the interior of the ship, and especially the main systems, because that's going to be a pain to work out. How to implement a correct power core, at least a big enough one for this ship, and implement the other systems for this ship. Yeah, I'm happy with this as it is now. So the rest of the design will continue in the next episode. If you have any comments or other things you want to say about this ship, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.